We live, baby. Welcome to the stream. German. Damn. Be vaping too much. Shit make me tired as hell. I gotta stop vaping. Bad habits will not lead to success. If you want to be successful, you gotta become successful first and then get a lot of bad habits. Wes, what up? All right, markets. Markets are melting. They're melting to the upside. This is looking really good. I don't think we're going to slow down anytime soon. I really don't, you know. I got some homies that I got some intel. There's a lot of speculation, of course. But things are looking good, man. And it's election year, too, so you got to keep that in mind. Historically, markets tend to look pretty well around election time. A lot of that is because, you know, the last candidate wants to look good, right? They want to stuff your pockets before they may go for re-election or something like that. Plus, it's just part of the presidential cycle. If you look at the data, it shows you that typically around, I think it's like every third cycle or something, the market tends to rally. And it's done that for like 200 years or something crazy. I don't know. A long time. So SPY looks good aside from all the speculation. From a technical perspective, let's take a look here. So volume's been pretty low. But if we look at the weekly, I mean, we just keep going. Okay. Gonna have to start whipping out some extensions here. See what could be next. It's getting harder to project. That's not the tool I want. So 509.43. It's probably a area we want to keep eyes on. Then about 536.70. All right, so we're going to be watching those to the upside here. Now, as far as the week is gone, right, just higher highs. Sorry, higher lows, higher highs as well. We're trading pretty tight. We're trading to the upside. Things are looking good. The draw on liquidity is definitely looking towards the upside if you look at the futures, which essentially means things are looking up, motherfucker. All right, things are looking great. One thing we have to be careful is we are trading we're trading in a premium right now, according to this. The last area we were trading, so we gotta be really careful about that. So we could see down before we see more up, is what I'm saying. It just depends. I have to analyze this a little bit closer on the futures, but I don't want to do that this stream. But from the way SPY is looking, this may be an area where we could, you know, see some drawdown first before seeing more upside. We'll see. I'll take a further look. Before I get things started too, well, I've already started a little bit, but make sure you check out the Instagram, maybe. Look at this, man. Look at the boy right now. Go check out our Instagram if you're not on there already. Help us get to 1K. We appreciate it, everybody. And then if you want to take a step further, we also offer a Discord. Now, in the Discord, we give out free daily watch lists. This is for stocks and crypto, and we give price targets as well. Doesn't hurt. Go check it out. It's completely free to you. That's going to be our wap.com link, wap.com/ProfitLink. Check it out, baby. Getting back to it here. Man, let me check out this chat real quick. It's been a little bit. Whoa, easy there. Ribs vape. No, that's just like one of my last few bad habits is vaping. That nicotine, man. That nicotine's addicting as hell, man. They didn't tell me that. Thought it just tasted really good. Nismo, what up, baby? Let's take a look at some other things here. Tesla was pretty interesting today. It's already retraced back to 200. Sitting in a gap right now. Good volume. I don't know what the move was about. I mean, I think I saw it as high as 6% today. 6.22 is what it closed. That's a big move for Tesla. So I don't know if there was news today. Shift there. This thing's looking extremely bullish. It's got to be news related, but still, that looks really good. Tesla loves 200, man. I've been saying it for a while. Tesla loves 200. It loves it. Nismo. All right. So we talked about SPY. A couple other things to look out for. There's going to be some economic data coming out tomorrow. Okay. This is a pretty big report. This is PPI. So this is basically producer inflation versus consumer inflation, which was CPI, which we had earlier this week. That came in a little bit hot. So PPI is going to be interesting. That's going to come out pre-market tomorrow, so that should definitely shake things up. I'm going to be looking to trade around this time because I'm a fucking savage. But if you like trading futures, let's ride. So consensus for the year over year is looking at 0.7. Prior was 1%, so they're thinking that's going to drop quite a bit. Food and energy, 1.7. Trades and services. So something to keep in mind. But pay attention to that. That'll move the markets momentarily. I don't know if it's going to affect the entire day. Certainly not. But it's going to be some momentary volatility that we can capitalize on. All right. So I'm going to open up the chat, man. This is a live stream, baby. You tell me what you want. This is for you, dog. I can cover anything all day. You can stare at me all day. It doesn't matter. You can stare at my pale ass. But I want to be able to help you guys out however I can. If there's something you're trading, something you're in, whatever, let's take a look at it, baby. One thing I did want to cover this stream was some IFVGs. If you're into that. So let's go to NASDAQ here. There's me flexing. All right. It's really digging the bottom here today. Pretty much called the bottom on the market. But, you know, money wasn't exactly where my mouth was, but I played as much as I could. Got in here, took some profits, took a trim, but then got stopped out ultimately. So I started off the day red, and then I saw price start to reclaim and grab some strength, and then I saw a nice model set up. And then we took some longs to reach buy side. So this is a good look. This is fucking phenomenal, clean day. But inverse fair value gaps. So they're pretty much like support and resistance. Right, so fair value gaps, they form between a series of 3 candles, right? So there's a fair value gap there. And when you're noting fair value gaps, the biggest thing you're looking for is to see whether price respects or disrespects a fair value gap. If it respects a fair value gap and it's trading alongside the trend that you're watching, so for example, in this example, right now, it looks like we are, seeking more downside here, price and sell side. And if that's the case, what we ideally want to see happen is this: see it respect that fair value gap if that's our bias. But all we can do is just watch and see what happens. Ideally, we want to see that, but it could get ran through. So if it gets ran through, the next analogy I'm going to use is like, support and resistance, where when you break like this is like one of the old school, like if you break support, like old support tends to become new resistance, right? So for example, sorry, I've been fucking stuttering, guys. Need some caffeine. Okay. Right. So let's say I got a resistance level here. All right, that's my resistance to the ceiling. Eventually I may break through that. And typically what happens is this was a resistance. So old resistance tends to become new support, and then the vice versa. Where I got support, right? Support, that's my floor. Let's say I break support, old support tends to become new resistance, right? So that's a common saying. It's a common nomenclature, common observed, price movement. So the reason I'm telling you that is because that's pretty much what an IFVG is, inverse fair value gap. I think the first word's inverse. Correct me if I'm wrong, but regardless, essentially you're going to treat it that way. So let's say this fair value gap gets ran through. Getting up to it now. Boom. Right? Ran through the fair value gap. We still want to keep tabs on this thing because there is some validity here. So ideally, since we ran through it, the next thing I would like to see this fair value gap serve its purpose with is whether or not it can now turn into support for me. Because when I started off bearish, right, when I started off with that bearish mindset, this was going to serve as resistance to me, right? But now I'm looking to see if it'll be support versus hence inversed fair value gap. As you can see in this example, this is a good example, but there's a lot of confluence here. But either way, this is a good example. You can see it is supporting, and then boom, inverse fair value gap. So even though the fair value gap ran through, this, the way this is spelled out in the strategy, in the ICT strategy, it can still be repurposed. Like it still has an apparent nature. I know some people are under the notion like if you run through a fair value gap, like it's pretty much invalidated, but it's not. What it can turn it, not necessarily, it just depends, but what it can turn into is some other things, it looks like. So this is part of the model. This is something we could observe. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are IFVGs. Very simple. Okay. It's just a fair value gap that got ran through. So a fair value gap, it could either be served as support or resistance, right? Every time we get to fair value gaps, it's an AOI is what I call it, area of interest. There's a million different terms for it. So when we get near that area of interest, it's an interesting area. We want to see what price does at this fair value gap when it gets to it. Okay? That's all we do. And then we wait and see what happens. And guess what? We can play it both ways now, favorably, right? We know if it gets ran through, then there's probably a shift in the model, right? And things are, let's say it breaks through in this example. There's a shift in the model, and instead of price originally looking like it was going for sell side, right? It's now going for buy side. So that just means there's a flip in the narrative. So that means we get the fuck out and then see if we can reverse our position and try to get back in this thing. Okay, hey, I got stopped out here because it blew past the fair value gap, but it retested the fair value gap. So I'm capitalizing on the shift in the move. There's a lot of power in knowing that. Thoughts on Airbnb for tomorrow? Let's see. Oh. All right. Getting old. Gotta stretch and shit. To do a damn 30-minute live stream, man, that's a problem. Airbnb. Yeah, man, this looks bullish. This looks really good. Strong close today. This wasn't even on my radar. Post earnings. Wow, really bad earnings on at least the top line. Some news, it looks like. This looks good, man. You can see all the volume picking up. Obviously, take some of it with a grain of salt because of earnings, but either way, The next 2 days were nice. A lot of follow through. This looks really good. This looks really, really bullish, man. Nice pick. I would have played this for like an overnight. Right? Your next draws are going to be there. Those are key areas I think we want to pay attention to. That's going to be about that 158.74 and that 163.24. I like the stock. You need some nicotine. You're wild. That is actually crazy. Rips vape. Man, Wes wants to see that vape action. You fiending. Let's see. What do you guys want to check out? So anyways, that's IFEGs. That's part of the Smart Money Concepts ICT package. So it's a style of trading, and it's more just reading like raw price action. Like the way I trade is I don't even, like this what my charts be looking like when I trade. That's it. And then I mark them up, right? The ICT calls it lipstick. So you put lipstick on, and I mark it up. And then I just trade off of that. It's a way you can trade. You don't have to trade by that. Some people trade. There's a million different ways to trade. All that matters is that you find consistency in whatever you're doing. If you want to trade bull pennants the rest of your life and you find a consistent way to do that and manage a risk and make good money, then fucking do it, son. Okay? That's just one way that I like to trade. And I'm slowly but surely developing into, because the ICT Smart Money Concepts they're nice. You know, you're playing with smart money, right? You're learning to figure out what they're doing. You truly get a good grasp on what is actually happening in the markets, and at a very deep level. So, you know, it's nice because if you understand that, then you can understand anything, right? If you understand how the fucking market moves just by looking at candles, I mean, you can understand a lot then. You can pretty much trade anything, any way, and that'll always carry with you. So if I'm trading options in the middle of the day or something, or if I'm scalping or whatever, swing trading them, I can use the concepts I've learned because they're going to apply, right? So at least the concepts of price action and understanding how it moves. But yeah. They obviously, like, there's certain like techniques in the models that work better for like certain things, but it's pretty much applicable everywhere. It's just you get different reads when you're trading with different things like futures and stuff like that. But either way, man. Yo. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any more questions. Might give it like 2 more minutes. I know the stream is delayed a little bit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys ever been to Florida? If you haven't been to Florida, you need to go outside. Explore the world. Flow Rider's from Florida, guys. Come on. Adam? The fuck is Adam? This penny stock. Had a nice little push, baby. Good moves today. Maybe slight pullback. I live in Kissimmee. Is that like north of Orlando? Can't remember where it's at. Or is it Kissimmee? Is it Kissimmee or Kissimmee? I guess you couldn't really answer that unless you said, I guess, the second. You can say the first or the second, I guess. So Kissimmee or Kissimmee. And if it's neither, then I fucked up. You think it's Colto? It's trading the same. Pretty close, it looked like. It's Orlando. Have you heard of Key West, baby? Let me know about Key West. Miami. Adam. Yeah, it looks, I mean, it looks pretty good. Crypto's bullish right now, man. And I'm waiting for altcoins to move a little harder, though. I've noticed the altcoins haven't, like, they're sporadic. Like, some are kind of, like, popping a little bit right now, like, having little breakouts. And then some are just, like, kind of lolling around, even though Bitcoin's just cranking straight up. Ethereum's almost at fucking 3K already. Yeah. Adam. That's all I got on Adam, man. I can't think of anything else. That name sounds so familiar. Like, what's the project? If you know that. What's it about? Yo. All good. Nice. It's an all good project. I like that, man. Good stuff. It's going to go up in the next year? Okay. Yeah, I think I've heard it a couple times, man. They must be doing something right. I mean, it looks like around 4.5x potential from here. So that's nice. Dude, the chats are so delayed. that's what it's gotta be. Like, you're not even gonna hear me laugh for 5 more minutes about how the chat's delayed. It's so delayed that you're gonna get a delayed response regarding how delayed it is. You got me fucked up, son. Fucked up. All right, y'all. Well, if there's not any more questions, I'll probably go ahead and end it. I hope you guys enjoyed your time here again. If you're not in our Discord, I encourage you to join. I mean, we have a free version. I understand that's money, but you know, we have a free version. And if you ever want to level up, we got you. Okay, and that option will always be there. We like to offer discounts once in a while. Maybe you'll catch one soon. All right. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream. Hopefully, you guys have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Let's get it.